Okay, hey everyone, how are we doing? Got some Digimon action on a Sunday? Make sure I'm not muted. Yeah, I'm not muted. And join with me is Baby Gat. Baby Gat says hello to everyone. She wanted to hop on my lap and join me for the stream today. But we are in round one of our webcam tournament today. At the bottom we have Decio, and at the top we have Broski, Nico. Two new people to the webcam scene here for my tournament series. I'm super excited to have them here today. Bottom we are showcasing Machinedramon, and at the top we're showcasing Melga. And I'm showcasing Baby Cat that likes to get on the keyboard. But a lot of Machinedramon decks in this format have started adding the red base. The red base Guilmon to help refill their hand, as they're going to be constantly dropping cards from it. In addition to that, they have the red-purple Guilmon, which draws with the Gigi Egg, but trashes top 2. Which, if you're searching for machine pieces into trash, that is a great way to get them in there. In addition to that, you can also pop memory blockers, which are pretty relevant for Machinedramon. But seeing that Gabu X get 2 call targets is really great here for being consistent, as the deck typically tries to be. But both players are down to 1 security. Biggest difference is we see there's going to be a Melga on the Garuru side and a Guilmon. Oh, hello, Baby Cat. On the machine side. So the Guilmon did crash here, and we don't have any color requirements being met at the moment. So we won't be able to see Machine Blitz for game, I don't believe. But we are able to get a relatively scary body set up. The Melka bouncing note is a little annoying. So how's everyone liking EX3 so far? Fresh format. We had a relatively diverse tournament results yesterday. If you guys haven't seen, Pro Play Games actually put up their results. Yeah, and we're saying, hey, we're just not quite there. We're not going to be able to close out this game yet. But yeah, like Pro Play results, I was actually really impressed to see there was good diversity. I was scared it was going to be very lopsided one way or another. But yeah, seeing him go on to what I assume was game 2 here. I know he hopped on a little late, so we didn't get the start of the set. But yeah, like, just emphasizing, if you guys haven't seen the Pro Play results, let me pull that up again, because I did just have that. But yeah, like, just to emphasize this real quick, I think it's intermission is what I have it set at. Yeah, I'll get that here in a bit. But like, the results are really cool because you gotta see, like, top 16 wasn't super stale. You saw Melga, which is like the most stale thing there, but you saw Mastodon, you saw Armor, you saw Wargrey, Security Control, Deep Brigade, Gallantmon, like Blue-Green Imperial even. And then even the Yellow Hybrid deck in there. If that doesn't show you, like, I think we're in a relatively healthy spot for diversity in decks. But we're up with the Hagurumon to get some cycling going, get cards in the trash that we don't want in our hand anymore. We want to dig deeper for those Machinedramon pieces because you're not digivolving traditionally in that deck. You're slamming down your bodies and you don't really get a draw otherwise. So Gurus and Gigis are the main way you try to cycle throughout that deck. But it looks like we are picking up our level 4 here. I'm assuming we want to build up this stack here in raising, leaving the opponent at 1 memory. We will see Haguru swing towards security though, finding the Guru X. Not going to live that long. The rookies typically don't when they're swinging into security. And then we will put our Fixer down for 4. So we are able to guarantee a Machinedramon on our follow-up turns. Because you have to have at least 2 memory, because you're not reducing the play cost of Machine, but rather gaining the memory, which is the important difference here. Depending on how Garuru can respond here, if they're able to get a full combo, I don't think they have a way aside from Hammer Sparks to get to level 5 from raising here. And it looks like they don't have it, so we're going to see them set up a bit more. And get the Gab X going. But one of the little tricks that people have started picking up is slamming a rookie and then going into the X version of the rookie is basically an extra card cycle for the same memory we're going to spend on that play anyways. So we will see the Hammer Spark up to 1 memory, so we can go into that level 4 without passing turn, because we do have the Gabumon in name. But I believe it was just going to be a turn pass. Yeah, I think they're just trying to walk through the memory they are going through. We are seeing Machine come down here. And he is going to be putting all the unique pieces underneath, which it's just going to gain a, not gain a bunch of, oh yeah, he is gaining memory for when he does the on play. But you gotta think, like, are you able to pressure and put a threat on with the setup? And I think that's what he was kind of lacking here in this matchup. Because Guru being able to swing with so much pressure and bouncing, it puts the Machine player ideally in a little disadvantage. But I believe we have piercing. I think we have an extra 3k DP during your turn, and an extra 2k in the opponent's turn. I believe are the inheritables on that Machine stack. But with all the EX3 support, you're able to get protection from the things that Machine was previously struggling against. You do have a form of bounce protection, and still have the battle protection, but you don't have the DP reduction protection on the new Chaos Dramon. And we see a Werga here. This is the EX1 Werga, if I recall correctly. And I'll be honest, I haven't seen that card in a hot moment. But I want to say he does something with drawing more cards. It's just simply when digivolving, draw a card, then if you have 8 or more cards in hand when attacking, gain a memory for the inheritable. So it helps you get to those 8 cards you need in your hand. But thanks to the Rookie Gabu and the level 4 Garuru, you are able to live with 9k DP, hence that 7k body. But we see the Werga X getting a free restand, getting a draw. And the machine's not a blocker, he's just simply a body at the moment. And he does find a Machinedramon not that big, and there is no protection for the stack, so it will be disappearing. But all the players today are competing for a booster box, and then top half of players will be receiving a custom set of egg sleeves. And we're going to be finishing with a blue Memboost, searching top 4 cards of the deck. Yeah, getting that 4th card in there. And we didn't find a level 5, because I think what he's looking for is that level 5 to have in Raising, but he will pick up the level 6, as he could have been missing that as well. But we see the Geemon combo in Raising now, so next turn Machine's going to be able to poke and get some more cards in hand. And we will go into the Chaosdramon using his Evo effect to tuck the blocker inheritable on the stack, which is really important at the moment. Because when you start seeing the Werga attack, you want to be able to block it, and you want to be safe from being bounced as well, which I believe the Chaosdramon does provide protection from. Yeah, all turns and be deleted or return to hand or deck, you just trash 2 level 5s. But then we see the Flamedramon slam down here as well. This is also the new Flamedramon from EX3. Or he does have some effects where you can DNA Digivolve with another card into one of your other Digimon into a play cost for hand. So it just simply looks like it goes over the Guilmon more than anything. I don't think there's anything I'm missing off the top of my head. But it is also a forced bounce target for a Melga X, which is something that could happen if you don't want to remove sources on your level 6. Being at 5 memory, you're going to be able to get a lot in. So we see the Werga promo here, but we don't have the Garuru X protection. So going into Werga X will at least bounce that Flamedramon back to hand. But how's everyone else doing today? Did you on a Sunday, the weekend that Pokemon just came out? I know I've been playing a good amount with my girlfriend lately. I chose Quaxley, because I'm Team Duck all the way. And regardless, that Flamedramon's going to be bounced because you have the Werga in source. Now you have the X-Ante in source as well. So now if you're attempting to swing security going into the Melga, you will be a larger body because you have the egg to give you 1k. I can't recall what rookie that was. I want to say that was the DP buffing one. But ideally being able to block the attack and not be crashed entirely. Then we have the EX1 Melga. For every 4 cards in hand, you'll gain a memory. And as a Garuru player, you typically have a lot of cards in your hand. So, like, this would ideally be a super cheap Evo most of the time. Because something that I talked about recently with one of our locals is the new Imperial topper that was mistranslated. It says it digivolves for 3 from a Geen Digimon, and you reduce it by 2 for Dino B Pyldramon. We're just talking in a vacuum. Like, would a Digivolve for 1 level 6 actually fix that card? And hypothetically, you have the scenarios met. And we talked about, like, the level 6 may not be the useful card, but the cards it will let you go into quicker is more valuable. It's like those level 7s or the fighter mode, because that's the card that's honestly the better card in Imperial. So we are swinging security with that Guilmon. We know that the Melga could block here, but if it chooses to block, you do have the Chaosdramon to start either swinging security or attempting to crash into it. But we're just going to let it go through and find a cool boy to reveal the top 3, adding an X anti-trait Digimon and X anti-option, and we're taking the Garou X here. We will play Ultimate Connection, thanks to Chaosdramon being both red and black. We get to discard a machine to draw a card, gain 2 memory. And we will play Kaiser Nail here for 4, pulling out Machinedramon, getting his on play. Thanks to the Blue Tamer here, we're able to not just spend the 4 memory to get the Machinedramon out, but typically you can net extra memory as well, as long as you have unique pieces, but we're just going to gain that 4 memory back. And now we have 2 level 6 stacks, creating a threat for Melga. I don't have Rush at the moment, but it is possible to gain Rush on your machine stacks. And we're going to see the Flamedramon Evo here. Play another Kiyoshiro here for 4. And then another Guilmon. We are creating a massive board, and we're going to put a challenge there for the Garuru player. And we're seeing both players at 3 security, so I would say this is a pretty good game to watch. But I believe at the moment only the Chaosdramon is a blocker. I don't think the machine is at all. So I'm not seeing any of the inheritables for blocker. But both decks have unique styles of protection. As you're playing this Megazoo style deck, you do want something to protect the stacks. I want to see the Garuru swing security finding a Guilmon. He will be good and live this swing, but he will Evo up, it looks like, potentially. Oh no, he was just thinking it crashed there. Yeah, when you're not swinging with your big boss monsters, you think you crash more often than not. We already have half our sets finished for the round, so we probably have a few more aggressive decks being played today. Or we can see bricks too, that is the possibility. And we will see a Blitz Omni here over the entire Melga stack. And it could choose to blitz into security. We will see it blitzing here, potentially with the effect of the X anti-option. And we're just walking through how big is this stack actually. But the scary thing is, I think Machine could have lethal, assuming there's no security bombs in the way. Or opting to let the swings go through, finding our third blue tamer and a Hagurumon here. And it will be Desio's turn, being put to 3 memory thanks to his 3 memory fixers. We get another Guilmon in raising. And now we have to think about ordering for how we're going to swing. I don't think it's going to make a big difference when you have 4 bodies, your opponent has 3 security, and you have 1 body that gets 2 checks and protection. So we see Chaosdramon taking the first swing towards the Garuru, it looks like. Just playing it a little safe in case things don't work out. Now we have a massive Machinedramon swinging towards security here. First check is a Melga X, but thanks to Metal Gray, he has an extra 3,000 DP, putting him to, I think it's 14 or 15,000 naturally now. Finding a Garuru, finding Melga, and that Flamedramon will swing for game. And we'll be moving on to game 3. We are 1 card away from a Ragnalordmon. I have not seen a Ragnalord on Jagras more than I think once, in my history of the game so far. It's just a slow deck in comparison to some of the other decks. But when you throw him in as a Spice card, like throw him in Spice into Black or Gray, throw him as a Spice in Machinedramon, it makes sense because the decks are focusing on making multi-stack decks that will protect and ideally last the entire game when they get out. But going on to game 3 of Machinedramon versus Garuru here. And let me drop a poll for everyone here watching in the chat. Start a poll. Who will take game 3? Do we think it's going to be Melga? Or do we think Machine will have a chance? There we go. Got that dropped in the chat for y'all. Go ahead and vote on who you think's going to win here. But yeah, so I do want to kind of try figuring out what is the purpose of the Flamedramon in the Machine. When Digivolving activate 1 effect below, you may Digivolve one of your other Digimon into a level 4 purple with free and its traits from your trash. You may DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon play into a Digimon card in your hand for the cost. So is there like a level 5 that you have in the deck that would make sense? Pyldremon's... I guess he is red-purple if you have him in the deck. So you could do some shenanigans with Chaosdramon because he is red. And Machinedramon actually can evo from red too. Now I think about that. So maybe that's what the line of play thought is. You guys believe in Machine? Yeah, I am too. Machine looks really fun. Like, I actually really want to build the deck. And typically, when I build decks, I like to imagine the decks I build are not as much on the casual side, but on the side where I'm like, yes, I can see myself playing this in a premier event or in a serious tournament. But, like, I can see myself building Machinedramon for a few different reasons. Like, I think it looks good. I think it has potential to be good. But I just think it looks super fun too. That and Dragon Links especially. But we see that Guilmon and we see that Tamer set up on turn 1 for Machine. Machine looks like it might be going places pretty quickly. And we see the promo Garuru for 2 memory. But going back to 3 on the Machine player's side. Going to promote that Guilmon. We're not going to take a thought. We're just going to draw those 2 right away. Checking that Hammer Spark, going back to 1. The Guilmon does live because it was just a Hammer Spark. Yeah. Like we said earlier, like you don't expect your non-level sixes to live security that frequently. Unless you build a deck around it, it just doesn't happen a lot. But we're just going to pass, like, we didn't have a great play. Machine has really heavy cost cards in their deck, so it is definitely difficult. If you had the 3 memory, you would definitely consider slamming a level 5. But I think it is the safe play to be conservative here. When we see the BT5 Gabu come down here, tutoring the top 3, trying to pick up a Garuru and or Omni, and we get the level 5 promo, but we have to bot deck 2 Cool Boys in the process, which is fine because we're able to build up that more ideal stack more quickly. Now, as we have more cards in our hand. You guys are really believing in Machinedramon, though, I see. Was that something more prevalent in earlier meta? Have lots of level 6s? Like in Machinedramon in particular? Oh, like, because, like, if you're talking about early game, the early game, you did everything with your level 6. Like, 1.0, 1.5, you typically only swing with your level 6 unless you played Rookie Rush, which was focused on being aggressive and just punching your opponent as fast as possible. And we kind of saw that change as we went into BT4. It was War Greymon, so you were swinging with your level 6, you were doing green stuff. You had green OTK in that format. It's called OTK. It wasn't a true OTK, though, because you do Grand Kawaga and then you would Chaosmon. Like, that was high-level oriented. Level 5 was Lord Knight format. You played Lord Knight or you played green, and that was level 6 oriented. So yeah, a lot of the early metas were level 6 oriented. Rookie Rush being the one exception, until you get to the Bond format. The Bond format is where it got a little bit more unique, because you were playing Rookie Rush, but you had a top-end finisher for the rookies. And honestly, it's something I expect to see come back at some point again. Because, like, it's generic Gabumon and Agumon support. I don't see the cards never getting support again. But, like, it's just not a good format and time being for it. So we see that Machinedramon. He is coming down. We are playing him for 12, tucking underneath 1, 2. And are we going to get the full? We got 3. We got 4 pieces underneath. With 4 pieces underneath, we will gain 4 memory back, going to 5 memory on the Garuru side. Having a Guilmon live is, yeah, I was just going to say, it's a miracle to have Guilmon live, because, like, not only is it great to have it live, but it will basically deny 1 layer of bouncing, with the assumption that the Werga X won't be able to bounce. Like, it should, but it makes it a little harder for Melga X level 6 bouncing. So here's the cool thing there. You got 2 pulls again with that Gabu X. You get the X Anti for sure, and then you get a Garurumon here. But I think we're just missing, like, the optimal stack and raising. We want that Garuru X. We want protection on our stack if we're going to be swinging into Machinedramon, which is a high DP oriented stack, because your average card in that deck is a level 5 or 6. And if you think about that, you're going to crash a lot more often than not. But that Gabumon is getting exactly what you want. You're getting a Garurumon and you're getting an Omnimon at the same time. So getting that new BT10 Omnimon, I say new, it's newer. But getting that Omnimon is also super nice. Yeah, it's Garurumon and Omnimon for the BT5 here. And then that Melga X will go to the bottom of the deck. So we know they are ready to promote next turn, and they're going to try taking game. Because Melga is that build in stack raising OTK deck. And they can pop off pretty quickly too in comparison to some other decks. It's like, I think it is the best OTK deck where it doesn't care about opponent interaction. Next best, I think Grandis is really good too. They just have different playstyles for how they achieve the OTK. I don't think any of the other ones really live past their VT9 format that well, though. They're always going to be around, but I don't think it's the best. Yeah, we played the BT5 Gabu this turn. The Gabu X attempts to swing, but Machine will block here. Now, maybe I should put a funny poll, but do you guys think the Guilmone's going to live its next check? Yeah, so we see Guilmon swing security. We're going to draw 2 more cards. We got the Guilmon, we got the Gigimon. And the first check we find is the level 4. The Guilmon finally dies. Next, Guilmon swings security, drawing another card. Finding a Gabumon. He does not die because that is a 2k and he is 3k. So we are playing Ultimate Connection, pitching a level 5 machine piece to gain 2 memory and draw a card. It better survive. It didn't. It didn't. So we could see some potential Kaiser Nail shenanigans here if you have the 0 cost machine option. So we see Machine swing security, finding a Davis. Just 1 swing away. Yeah, that Guilmon is crazy in this game. He drew, I think, a total of 6 cards. You don't see that too often. Guilmon drawing 2 is already great value. People consider that enough value. But we see Machinedramon. It's going to Chaosdramon here. Going to be able to tuck some pieces underneath. Nothing else in the trash there. But we are able to get a few from hand as well. And we see a Hagurumon for 3. We will pitch a machine piece to draw 2. So, even though we may not have lethal this turn, setting up a big white board and 1 giant reboot blocker is great value. Because even if you go into that Melga X, you won't be able to get rid of it. Gallantmon? No, we don't have Gallantmon here. This is just a Guilmon that lifts 3 checks in a row. Or 2 checks and then got to the 3rd. Yeah, it's Machine. It's Machine. I mean, the Guilmon base is amazing for Machine. Because we talked about earlier, getting that draw to refill your hand. Because if you play Machinedramon, you're typically losing cards in your hand. Or filling pieces in the trash with the other Guilmon. Also works towards that same game plan. But we left that first check go through. That rookie can go. Hello, other cat. Yeah, so I'm trying to think, like, we know we have the Guru X. We don't have a second layer of rookies, though. So we have 1 layer of protection at the moment. So I think the ideal thing is to get the X anti option, swing, go into the X level 5, bounce a rookie. And we see the Machinedramon option here. We're just going to pitch a level 5 and we're going to pop the stack through the deletion of an effect. And I think that's going to be spelling game for Machinedramon here in game 3 of their set. I mean, you do have 5 memory. Maybe something can happen here, but I'm not thinking it's realistic at all. Like, the quirky, awkward thought is, do you have a hybrid with some crazy mechanics that can come back? Or if you have a way to freeze the board. But like I said, I'm going to say that check just cost the game. Because it didn't matter what you had there. Machinedramon has a giant hand from that one Guilmon doing 3 checks. You probably had the level 6 to delete a level 6 if it was needed. But we can play Hammerspark because we do have Davis in play. And I think your next best bet is to slam Omnimon. Yep, and that's the formal recognition of saying, you got it. Has that? Yeah, real quickly, just because I do want to show this. Like, we're talking about how were the premiere events. The premiere events. Let me share my screen here. I want to go here. Oh, not chat box. Be like, just real quickly, like, we look at these top 16 results. Like, we are scared that we're going to see, like, a tier 0 format of some sort. Why can't I not get rid of their header? Like, we see it's pretty diverse. We got Melga, we got Mass Day, Armor Rush, Wargrave, Seccon, Commander Mancala, Imperial, Venus Hybrid. Like, I know it's early, which means it may not be refined yet, but we at least can see there's diversity there. So if there's something you want to play, more than likely you can find a deck that plays similar to it. And we see all the deck lists are here if you want to find them yourselves. Feel free to check out the Pro Play Games website. But anyways, I will be right back and we'll get round 2 pairings up shortly. Figured I would help out. Okay, guys, we are back. We have a round 2 up. What's everyone wanting to see for round 2? Also, I see a lot of you guys believed in Machine with that last poll. Oh, cat, I'm sorry. You cannot jump on the table here. I think both our cats are jumping on tables there. Let's see, I'll find something. I'll find something for y'all. Machine was pretty fun to watch, I'd say. You know what? Let's check out Table 1. Table 1, we got two different decks here. We got a new EX3 deck, and we have... Let's hop on. Okay, webcam locals set up. Oh, I need to change my screen capture. I was taking pride in showing off those tournament results. There we are. At the top, we have gold. At the bottom, we have Mr. Iofrate, I think is how you say his name. Iofrate. Both of these are regulars at our webcam locals, showcasing different decks that you can build in the EX3 format. Yeah, we are getting some Digimon in today. I know once I get a chance to wrap up the tournament and prizings for today, I'm probably going to be playing more Pokemon, to be honest. Because it's been really fun playing in the open world. I'm not a big open world fan person, but it's done really well in Pokemon. Afternoon, Mr. Nico. We're able to see you in round 1 earlier. Got round 2 up now. Yeah, thankfully it's a Swiss tournament, so even if you lose round 1, you're not out for the day. We still have more games coming up here. But we're opening up with a Palmu and a green memory boost. This is Bloom Hydra at the top screen here. One of the new powerhouse decks in format. Yeah, I've seen some of the glitches in the new Pokemon game. I've experienced some of them. But at the bottom, we have Promo Agu over, I believe, a Koromon. So this is a Gaiomon, Black War Gray, or War Gray X deck here at the bottom. Okay. But we're seeing some pretty optimal setups for both players. We have, I believe, Agitar and Raising for Bloom Hydra, and we have a Melgrain Raising, so it's a game of chicken. Like, are we ready to promote? Are we ready to be explosive enough to create a real threat for our opponents? But we're going to get this Palmon down, search the top 4, adding a Vegetation or Plant, and then a Fairy. And we're just going to be able to get one of them here. And the ideal card for me, a lot of the time, is the Palmon. Because when I'm playing Bloom Hydra, I find my hand disappearing way too quickly. Who took round 1 that last match you were pooping? It was Machine. Machine took it. Melga checked the 0 cost option, where if you discard a machine piece of that level, you can delete a Digimon of that level, and they deleted the Wereguru stack on their first check. It was rough. Like, even if they didn't check that, Machine has pretty high DP. He had a blocker out. It wasn't going to be super easy to get through. And the board is also super wide. Yeah, but now we have a Cool Boy. We have a Nokia. We're able to get a lot going on this follow-up turn for the War Gray player here. So now you have to think, like, is this a good time to bring out your stack? Like, if you set up, will you be safe? And that's the scary thing. Black War has ways to answer large boards. They have options. They have natural removal. So it's something I would definitely be a little afraid of myself, too. And also, how's the audio for everyone? Can you guys hear me all right? We're just going to play another Palmon here, which honestly, not bad. Let's fill our hand a bit more. Actually, it might be a Cherrymon or Agitarmon. I can't tell from the image there. I know it's one of the two. They're Digizorp or Play Guy. Audio's good? Okay. I've had issues with audio in the past, so I always try making sure it's good. But welcome, everyone. If this is your first time here, welcome to the stream. I'm EagleX from ATX EagleX Gaming. I have webcam tournaments every Tuesday, and I might be expanding to Sundays based on how popular these are, and it's looking like it is a good day for a lot of people. But everyone here is competing for points for the Circuit Invite. In addition to that, they are competing for a booster box today if they get first. Top half of players will get a set of custom egg sleeves. I have a brand new shipment coming in. It should be here ideally this week. But I ran out. You guys went through them really fast. I had like 200-ish sleeves and they disappeared within like almost a month of tournaments. Alright, let me hide this user from our channel. But those Palmons are getting quick chips in. There's no reason to promote this stack out if it's going to disappear. So we're just playing conservatively until we find a level 6. But I think this is going to be a scary moment. Can we see an actual OTK come out? We have the Metal Greymon for free. We get a draw. We get an Evo. We get a Cool Boy. We get another memory. We get another draw. And we're just seeing like our opponent's not going to give us a chance to kill their level 6 stack. So for memory here, if we have a BT1 War Great, that would be fantastic. See the Agua X taking the first swing against Bloom Hydra. Going to 4 security. We find one of the level 5s, I believe Agitarmon there. Going to use Gravity Crush here to gain 2 memory. At the end of turn, you will lose 2 memory. So we go into the Gaiomon for 5. Suspend Nokia, make it cost 1 less. Draw for Evo. And we are swinging security for 1 check for Melogray X, 1 check for Tai, 1 natural check, 1 check for Gaiomon. It's 4 checks, and if we have a Blitz Omni, this could just be game here. 4 checks, and then the Blitz Omni to top it off. We are going on to game 2. Bloom Hydra, it was trying to play really defensively. It was ready for a slow Black War Gray turn, but with how much it was being conservative, it wasn't working out there. But if you're missing a level 6, you were missing a level 6 also, which is arguably even worse, not being able to do anything. So how many of you guys had a chance to play some of your new favorite EX3 decks? I know we built Commandramon. We weren't really impressed over here on my end. It's cool, Commandramon got support. It's a deck that will probably continue getting support, but it wasn't anything crazy in my opinion. But I still need to build Dragon Links. I said I was going to build that. I haven't done it yet. It looks super fun, though. But we built Bloom Hydra. We got that built. We've been playtesting it. I actually built a new SecCon because I've honestly been... I've been wanting to play security control where it feels refreshing and new. And we see the Palmon Search. Palmon Search will grab either a level 6 or a rookie. It's going to be that Hydramon, though, because Hydramon is such a key card in the deck. Making your opponent basically pay memory every time they swing definitely slows them down. Well, let's see how fast we're building up this stack. We got the Agu X, Greymon. Do we have a Greymon X? We got a Greymon X. And we're going to be protected from Hydramon attempting to bot deck too, thanks to that Greymon X protection. And we're going to spend 4 memory going into BT8 Metal Gray. We can go out with a level 6 next turn already. And we're showing that Black War Gray is still a scary deck in format, even though we don't have Tamers we're popping. Controlling the board in a very natural and what feels fair way is still going to be a good deck. And we're just going to hide and be conservative with our Rookie and Raising going into that red veggie. Going to use Sunflower here. Did evolve, suspend itself in order to play Vegetation Plant Fairy with a 3000 DP or less threshold, which is why you see the Weedmon from BT4 slide in this deck. It just fits that criterion, has the right traits, and it's also a cheap Evo cost. Even though you don't use its Digibursting effect often, it's just a free body more often than not. Now Palmon's debating, like, do I take a Cherrymon? Do I take another Palmon? Do I take Sunflowmon? They're all great cards and do different things in this matchup. And we're going to see another Sunflowmon here playing out Palmon. We get our draw for Evo. And we're going to look at our top 4 again. So Bloomlord is a fairy, Agitarmon is a vegetation. We can take them both here. Got 3 bodies on board, 1 in Raising. And let's see how Black War can respond to this. I want to see Metal Greymon go over one of the stacks here. Then we'll go into Black War Greymon here for 4. Draw thanks to our just quick reordering here. It is suspended still. As long as both opponents are cool with it, I'm cool with rewinds for these events. And then we see the Black War. Just make sure you can't swing over it. And he will have reboot. Alright. Oh, because he killed something, he restands. That's what it was, not reboot. That shows you how much I've played Black War. Yeah, welcome to the stream, everyone. If this is your first time, I'm EagleX here, streaming my webcam circuit series. This is tournament number 8 of the series, where players are competing for an invite to the finals circuit, where there's a cash pool with additional prizing supported. Free entry if you've earned your invite and points there. We're seeing the Samant Santi lock down the Black War Gray here. And then we go Agitar and Raising going up to a level 5. We're ready to promote out next turn. And there's not going to be an easy way to get this Black War restood at the moment. We're just going to get our next stack ready, which makes sense. There's no reason to be aggressive here, because you have protection on that Black War thanks to Gray X and the 2 rookies. Heck, even the 2 level 5s can help address that. Now we go Metal Greymon Raising, going to 4 on the opponent's side here. So my guess is we'll probably see a level 5 come out here. Yep. So this is where Blue Hydra can really pop off as a deck. Suspending Agitar to play a body, you can Digisorb, you can suspend more of your guys, you can go into Hydramon to gain memories for suspending things, or you can opt for a few other routes, but we're suspending Palmon for the main effect of Agitar to play another Palmon, essentially just netting a free body on board, as your board state is just evolving to a wider board where it could buff a Gloomlord. How many rounds today? So we have 10 people, so my guess is it's going to be like 3 to 4 rounds, depending on how undefeateds go. Like, if our down pair loses, it can end earlier, but I think realistically we'll hit 3 to 4. I think 4 is the most we would do, though. I'm going to Digisorb into a Cherry for 1 memory. Yep, and Bloomlord will suspend himself, and then for each suspended vegetation plant, you gain a memory, and you restand if you have 2 or more. You have an extra check for every 2, along with an extra 2k DP, and because you had that many guys, you will have piercing on the stack as well. So it will be a 14k plant swinging security, or swinging over Black War. And the first check is a Cool Boy. So you can take Agu X or Metal Gray X here. And the nice thing about how this stack was built was we have another one ready and raising. It's not going to be the end of game that quickly. Yep, and our second check is a Gravity Crush with no effect. A card that we saw earlier be used to extend turn and actually find lethal for the Black War player, as just a 2 extra memory for that 1 turn was enough. You obviously don't want to use it at tempo early game, as it will put you further behind, but it is a great way to close out game and give you the extra memory you want for plays. So with a Cool Boy with a Metal Gray, we could see him go up into a level 5, Metal X, gain a memory, draw a card, get an extra check, be an extra 3k DP, and it looks like that's the route we're opting for. Get a draw, we're going to activate Cool Boy here, gain another memory, and draw again. That Cherrymon will be able to redirect 1 attack, though, is something to be mindful of. Because you have suspended Digimons, you can have the attack go to another suspended Mon. So this is where piercing is like a stronger keyword, but BT8 Metal Gray is still super good in a lot of matchups. We're going into a Black War for 4 here. Draw its Evo effect, can pop the 2 rookies here. And we're just choosing to play a little safe because we know that if you attack, you're going to redirect me to the Bloom Hydra. Yep. And start a turn, because you have Argomon, you will gain a memory from Bloomlord restanding. So how many of you guys have practiced against Bloom Hydra? So ran a lot of practice. I know I've messed with it a little bit. When I say little, I mean as our main EX3 deck. But we have the new EX3 Pamu coming out. So what this could allow us to do is suspend him to suspend the Black War. So if you have a Samant Santi, you can suspend him. The Agitar will gain you a memory back. So effectively costs a 0. And then you could go up into a Bloom Hydra. If you have HPD, Bloom Hydra will net you memory a lot of the time, which is one of the reasons HPD was limited. Like, that card could be disgusting if it was unrestricted in this format. You went 4-4 yesterday in the Ulti Cup, was 3-1, then you ended 4-4. Ooh. That's a rough latter half of the day. What were you playing, Evil? You aren't the only person I know that had a really strong start, but struggled in the end. Yeah, we see that HPD here. We're going to see a level 6. It's going to be the Hydramon for free. So because the Digimon was suspended by an effect, Agitarmon will net a memory. The Digivolving effect will suspend Pamu. When Pamu is suspended, you can suspend an opponent's Digimon. And thanks to Hydramon's all turns, you will gain 2 memories. So Digimon was suspended. You played Melga? I think Melga's a great choice. I really do. But you can get bodied by Setcon. You could also get bodied by a well-piloted Bloom Hydra. I think it's a really rough matchup if they get Hydra out early. But I still think Melga is one of the better decks to choose. I think it's more fringe in tier 1.5. Like, not top of tier 1. If it is, it's like the bottom of it. Because I think decks naturally answer it. But it's also a fan favorite deck. It's going to be piloted a lot because it does a lot still. But we see this Bloom Lord. It's going to be swinging. First check is the Gaiomon. Second check is a Nokia. Nokia's effect will cheat out an Agu or Gabu. Typically Agu in this deck, revealing top 3, adding a Greymon and or Omnimon. We're going to get easy choices here as we get the Greymon and Omni at the same time. And we will see a fixer for 4. So end of turn, he is going to attempt to bot deck the Black War. However, Black War does have protection, I believe, from bot decking. So he should be able to just remove 2 Digimon of the same level. Thanks to that Greymon X inherit. Yeah, when it be deleted, return to hand or deck. So you have protection for all. You got bodied by Commandra, Mir, Beelzemon, and something else. I mean, it makes sense for Commandra and Mir because Commandra could outpace and outrush you if you don't have great hands. So we have an interesting board state here. Like, Black War can opt to play for control heavy, but an issue that will come up is the fact that they're at 1 security, and that 1 security can disappear rather quickly. So I'm trying to think, like, optimal route, do you go for board control? You do have the extra 1k, so you are 13k, but you can't go over Hydra that easily unless you go into a Gaiomon. As you have vanilla rookies in the stack. You don't have the 2k. But yeah, like, I signed up for yesterday's event. I wasn't really feeling it. To be honest, I went to a IRL local instead. I just played Grandis for the 3 rounds. But my opponents all got the wins for those rounds. We will see this Greymon go up for essentially 1 memory thanks to Nokia here. And Greymon X going to get a draw. We're going to refund that 1 memory thanks to Cool Boy. And we're playing late game, so Cool Boy value is coming up to be very relevant here. But like I said, I'm just scared. Like, how do you respond to a board where you only have 1 security left? Because I think your best thing to go for is the Bloom Lord if you can. Oh, it is Grandis you lost to. Grandis can do well, especially if they tech for stuff. Having that Mimi on board is almost a death sentence, saying I'm set up and whatever you do, I will have a response for. So we're going to see Black War swinging. Because a Hydramon, it will cost 3 memory. We get the restand. We play Gravity Crush here because we don't want turn to pass. We'll swing into that Pamu. And we could use a Blitz Omni to remove the Hydramon here. Yeah, that looks like what we're opting for. We're just opting for a full board clear. And then that 2 memory will come back to the opponent, putting him to 4. So I'm trying to think, is there a potential lethal in this scenario? You could get a restand Bloomlord, but we're just going to set up. We're setting up a Mem Boost, and we're probably going to be locking some things down. Hey, JT. Nice seeing ya. Hoping next year you have more free time to play, or at least keep doing the stats more frequently. I get it, man. Lately, I've been, like, super busy with work. Like, this is my busy time of the year for work, because we're doing project handoffs, which, if you guys haven't noticed, I've been kind of lacking on content. Thankfully, I can do these streams, and it's chill. I can run events, and you guys can watch some gameplay footage. But it's hard to do content at the same time as some other things. Oh, we can't suspend Mimi there. Yeah, we're fixing it. We're fixing that. Mimi has to see a level 5. And we'll go into Agitar. Mimi's not suspended, though. But yeah, like, content's fun, but it's work. It takes time to do. Now, this is where Black War is in a good spot because they play for the late game. They want to be able to extend out the game as long as possible because they can get multiple large blockers. And this is where I was talking about in that first game with Machinedramon that uses Ragnar Lordmon Toppin. It's very doable in a deck like this to get a Ragnar Lordmon Toppin. Because you play so late, you can get 2 Black War, maybe even 3 Black War stacks at the same time. And then you can use Ragnar Lordmon for all his trashing effects he can do. But we are getting pretty thin on the deck, to be honest, here too. Because we've been searching, we've been drawing, we've been evoing a lot here. Man, we're getting crazy value from our cards here. Able to get 2 pulls frequently is really nice. I don't think there's a way to directly respond to the Agitar here, though. I've been busy trying to publish, complete dissertation research. That's difficult to find time for anything else. Yeah, like, I'm talking full-time job. If you're doing grad stuff, if you're in college even, like, it's hard to have time. That's a job in itself. And then anything else on top of that is just stuff you use your personal time for. Yeah, the events are a little easier on myself. It takes a little bit more energy when it's going up, but that's totally fine. I have fun with it. I love hosting community events. Thanks to the Nokias, we reduced the cost to be 0 there. And then we can go into the BT8 Metal Gray, de-Digivolve, and because Bloom Hydra has low DP thresholds, it's not going to be difficult to remove stacks. And this is where I'm going to say it's rough for Bloom Hydra to really come back. You have to establish one board and get it to stick. Because best case scenario, you don't die this upcoming turn because you have 5 security, but you have to get so much going at the same time. And honestly, you may even want to play for a deck out if you think your opponent will overcommit too quickly. Yeah, unless there's some crazy removal in green, which I can't think of at the moment, that would deal with a board like this. It's going to be hard. And we're just going to slam a Cherrymon, putting them to 2 memory because they actually don't have a fixer out. But we are hatching the last Koromon egg here, going into that promo Agu for free. Got 3 cards, so gotta be careful. But this could potentially be game here. Getting that extra check, extra DP is really big. And I can see it being a potential go in entirely on this turn. Close out the set. Taking game 1 already. We'll be taking game 2 though in the same scoop. And we will be activating Cool Boy to gain a memory and draw a card. And thanks to Nokia's, we can Evo into Black War for essentially 2 less, going to 1 memory here. So check 1, we find a Weedmon. Check 2, we find Agitar. We'll play Gravity Crush, gaining 2 more memories. Yeah, I forgot to pay the 2 for the Black War there. I think it's what we're walking through. We're drawing our last card here. We do have a blocker in play thanks to the Greymon Inheritables. We've got a few of them, so it's not going to necessarily be game just from board, but it's not going to be easy. And when you block, that Black War will restand right away. Yeah, if anyone is here for the first time, welcome to the stream. I'm EagleX, and this is my webcam circuit series. We're in tournament number 8, where players are competing for a chance to earn a circuit invite. Along with that is a cash pool prizing that will be added up, in addition to some real life prizing, and given away at the end of the season in our circuit finals tournament. And both of these players are actually ranked on our ladder with points. Gold is being really close to getting his invite, only needing, I believe, 3 points to get there. Yeah, only 3 points for him to get there. And top half of players will get stuff today as we wrap up this tournament. This is only round 2, so we have a bit more though. So what decks are you guys excited to see today? Is there anything you guys want to see that I haven't showcased yet? I'm trying to keep it as diverse as possible. Let's see. And we will have 3 undefeateds after this round. So we will probably have 4 rounds today. It could be 3 if a down pair loses, which we haven't had yet, but it is possible. Now we're just explaining how the memory thresholds all worked. This is why it's important for you and your opponent to keep track of memory when you guys are playing the game, so you guys can see, hey, we missed something here, or was there something that you paid twice for even? And just going through cards and discards so we know what threats there are. I'm thinking it's pretty rough for Bloom Hydra to come back from this board state. Like, if you have some type of plays with some Santi, where you can suspend the blocker, if that was a Pamu, you can suspend a second blocker. But I just don't think there's enough here. Because if you got the 2 suspends, you swing with Cherry. You get the last check. If it lived, you go into Bloom Lord for game. Because you would restand from having... Actually, no, you wouldn't. Because Terriermon's not a plant vegetation. So you don't gain a memory for it being suspended. We've already seen the HPD here. Yeah, I think we're just saying, like, this is a board lock. I can't do much. Swing with Terriermon. You can block. If you block, deletes it, restands the Black War. Because he's all turns. We'll see block, and then we see the Black War restand there. I think even the Omnimon's a blocker from the same inheritable there. We're just going to see a Bloom Lord for 4 here, suspending himself and gain a memory. He won't restand. It's just probably game. And now we gotta go all in with all the resources we got, because we are decked out if we don't take game this turn. Go into Metal Gray X for free. Cool Boy will gain another memory. If you had cards to draw, you would draw more cards. You got 2 Nokias also. But with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bodies swinging and 3 security, and 2 checks on the 8, 11, 12k stack, it should be fine. Yep, and then Omnimon will take game 2. Black War taking round 2 of the tournament against Bloom Hydra. That being said, guys, I want to go on a break, and we will be back with round 3 pairings as soon as round 3 is up. Okay. We're still in. Oh, my mute. Okay, make sure I'm not mute. We're still in round 2, but we're able to get one of the other games showcased here. Blue-Green Imperial versus Gallantmon. And Gallantmon's a deck that it's existed for a while, but it's just in a naturally better spot now for the format. So you're able to see it pop up more now. But thanks to the Takados, you can game Blitz a lot with this deck, and the blitzing and just how Gallantmon plays naturally answers Bloom Hydra in a way where you can gain memory, extend your turn, and have really strong, powerful plays. We'll see. Gallantmon is typically more of a control deck here in this format. Now we're just walking through all the pieces, but it should be able to go over the Imperial here. Then into Gallant X for 1 memory, you get a restand, you get a draw. Then we will see Crimson Mode for 6 here. So we're going to swing security with Blitz. Thanks to Takado, we will trash the top security regardless. Then for every 10 cards in trash, you will get another one. And our check is going to be the Surai, which will strip the top 4 sources of a stack. But having nobody left on board, it's going to be hard to win this turn, but you can definitely stall it this turn thanks to options that are very strong in the deck. Now the Crimson Mode will not be able to do anything himself, and then we get the Innocence Blizzards on top of that. So basically this board is stunned and locked now. Giving just one more turn. Hopefully they were able to get a Rookie 4 raising here. The Sojo value will be relevant as well. And I'm thinking about evoing up our lines here in a very conservative manner because we have gone through a lot of our deck and they only have 1 security left, so being able to get a swing for game will be big. We do see a hybrid swinging security here, something you don't typically see in Gallantmon lists. And then we see another Takado for 3 memory, since we won't have anything due the rest of the turn, and then Sojo value will come up, putting them to 5 memory. No rookie in raising though, but now we got one actually. And it looks like it is Jellymon. Yeah, this is unfortunately game here, as there's just too much setup we cannot deal with and answer. Have a moment there to try finding another set to watch. Yeah. What has this been so far? It's been pretty fun. We've seen Machine, we've seen Black War, we've seen Werga, seen Bloom Hydra. Got a quick glimpse of Gallantmon and what looked like a Sea Animals deck, probably. Sea Animals, Jellymon, something like that. Yeah, like I said, I'm happy with today's diversity. Give me a moment and I will be back. We're going to have a second here until we go on to round 3. We have one last table going into overtime, which totally fine. It happens. But I'll say this. I've really enjoyed this format. This format has showcased where some old decks can become relevant again, right? Like, I love the fact that Machine Dramon is, I would consider it a tiered deck. I wouldn't say it's a high tier deck, but it's at least playable where I can see people bringing it to a tournament. And like I discussed earlier, I want to build it because I think it looks fun and might have potential to be like a fringe tier 1.5, tier 2 deck, very high end, or very low tier 1. Excuse me. It's probably lower on the like top of tier 2 status and territory, but it has a lot to go over. So while we're chilling here and waiting for this last table to wrap up, let's go ahead and take a peek at some these deck lists that I was talking about. Like, let's share this. We got a pro play. It's like, if we look at the winning Wargrey X list, where are we seeing here? This looks like it is your traditional Wargrey list with your Evo level 3, 4, level 5 lines looking very traditional, but they emphasize the Wargrey X as the level 6. That's why they have the Cool Blaze. Cool Blaze emphasize Wargrey X, Omnimon X Ante lines, and the option. I get it. I don't think Cool Blaze needed as much in this deck. Unless you're trying to play late game control, it doesn't do a whole lot. Make sure you guys can see what I'm seeing. Yeah, you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Yeah. So Wargrey X first place. Venus Hybrid second place. Let's see. Is there a way to rotate this? Not seeing a way to. But it looks like it's a Lotmon Yellow Hybrid aggro list. Got the Venus to lock out your opponent. Got War Gray as a way to get multiple checks thanks to the Yellow Rise Gray and the restands. Got the Lonkies. You got a little of everything here. You don't have as much hybrid stuff. Like, you have the Zephyr and Kazi lines for what you can. I guess it is Yellow Hybrid because it is restricted. That's an interesting list. I don't think I would have ever considered this in tournament, but it's cool to see. Got another Wargrey X here. And this looks like it's very similar, just de-emphasizing Cool Blade a little bit more for one removal and the other Omni X. Then we got Melga list. A Melga list is a Melga list. You don't have anything crazy about them. The one thing I don't like is EX1 Gabu. He doesn't do enough in the deck, in my opinion. Then you have a choice if you choose Sagittarius promo or not, and then how much you emphasize level 6s. That's fair. Nothing crazy there. Next Melga list. I don't see anything crazy. It's just, it's a very solved deck where there's not many missing pieces. Now Mastodon here. This is something I see a lot of people always bring Mastodon, but you don't see conversion a lot of the time to like topping placements. But seeing it top is really cool. The Ordainmon actually makes a lot of sense in hindsight though. Because with how wide Bloom Hydra goes, you can pop a lot of things and get a massive amount of recovery. So honestly, if you can build around Ordainmon, it might be a good format for it. The only thing that's scary is the Garuru players. Because they can be aggressive and punch you down before you get a chance to respond. Now we got Blue-Green Imperial here still. Imperial is a deck that didn't really top like in win tournaments, but you'll always see it consistently do its same game plan. Because it's consistent at what it does, it's just not the best at best deck for ceiling level. Because the ceiling's a little lower for how well it can perform. But the deck is still good. I wouldn't doubt anyone bringing it. I think it's a solid choice. And the weirdest thing is just the inclusion of Death X and Dino Bees, which I can see it. It makes a little bit of sense. The Pyre Saruman is like an extra Stingmon if you can't find it. Let's see, it's just another Melga list here, right? Yeah, I'm not seeing anything crazy. It's just Melga. Then we got Gallantmon in 9th place here, emphasizing the BT2 Gallant, which I think is interesting. You don't see that a lot. Because you see people opt for the newer Gallants. The Gallant X's are fine. And you have good red removal. But the reason why people hype up this deck for being great against Bloom Hydra is because you have ways to deal with the wide boards they constantly throw at you. Yeah, you're not a fan of Sag? Yeah, makes sense. Well, guys, give me a moment here, and I'll be right back with next round pairings.
No worries. I had to go in and update their match results anyway since we hit the timer. So no, it wasn't a tie. Prometheus took it, but he took it in overtime. So oh nice. Yeah, I still need to go and take a look at that. Yeah, I also verified everyone. Will's Machine Dramon deck was doing good, but he just lost the other, or he just lost this pair up into D-Links Dragons. So I'd be really interested to watch D-Links Dragons. Ebrecht. Yeah, I mean, also the yeah. Well, and honestly, it doesn't do so great when it can be DDH involved very easily. So. Mhm. Are you talking about Rin? Or no, Deshaun. His is. Let me check if he's paired it. If he has paired into it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's definitely out there. It's super aggressive. It'll be over quick, but it'll be interesting to watch.
Hey, Eagle. We're doing okay. We're 1-1, so could be better, but that's fine. My my opponent unfortunately got the pair out or pair down, so I'm fighting. Yeah. So we'll see if werewolf werewolves can get there. Do they could occasionally wear armor? I guess. Well, I was trying to. My girlfriend, she's playing Pokemon right now, and she like knew about Digimon growing up. But it's like I was trying to explain to her. I was like, yeah, so like it starts as like a dog with a hood, and then it turns into a wolf, and then it turns into a wolf with pants, but then it goes back to a wolf on all four with armor. And she was like, why? And I was like, I don't know. It's just how they drew it up.
Pretty good. How are you? Yes, sir.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, we're back. Let me go ahead and put up the set so you guys have something to watch. I'm going to do a quick flip here. Transform, flip on the vertical. Hey, I got it first time this time. Because this is what I struggle with, right? Yeah, you tried the Sag promo and the Melga deck. Like, I get it. I don't think it's horrible, and I'm not going to bat an eye at anyone who does use it. But it's probably not something I lean towards either. Like, it makes sense, it's not bad, but I just think if you go for the linear stack, it's just as good. But we are at table 2 here. We have an undefeated and the down pair. So one undefeated, one person that's 1-1. And depending on how this goes will determine if this is the end of the tournament for today. At the top, we have Rise Prometheus, and at the bottom, we have the Sean. And we have a very interesting matchup here. The bottom list is something I haven't seen anywhere, so I'm excited to see what it'll do. The top, you've seen it. It is a Werga deck. But at the bottom, I would definitely label it as other, because I'm not quite sure what would define the deck. Like, I'd almost call it aggro-jogress. Might be one way to put it. We're going to hatch showing a Gurimon going into a Gil X, I believe that is. A little hard to tell from perspective, but it does not look that bad on camera. But we got the Suna with the Gabu here. Yeah, I love showcasing unique decks if we have a chance to. And this is where we see Cool Boy not be the best early gameplay, as it bot decks your key pieces. You want the level 4, you want the promo level 5, but they're both at the bottom now. But we do have Cool Boy set up for future turns. And we get the promo Garuru in Raising, which is not bad. And we're just going to Evo in Raising into the Burning Gray here for 1. And then a Metal Gray for 3, going to 2 on the opponent's side. Basically saying if you got a response, you gotta go for it, bud. I mean, like, if he has OTK, he has OTK, right? Because you could see a Garu X, you could see Promo Werga, you could see a Swing Restand, but we're just going to play another Cool Boy. Probably missing the level 5 at... we're bot decking another level 5 promo. This is going to be rough if we don't find one of those coming up soon. And we will see our Davis Fixer play for 4, saying this time if I find it, I will add the level 5 to my hand. And there we are. On the 3rd search, we can get the promo level 5. And we're going to push out our stack of Raising this time. I want to start with a Fireball to draw 2 since there's nothing to pop here. And we are going into Gaiomon here, using his effect to blitz and swing for at least 2 checks, get a draw for Guri, and just spelling out how big he is. He is massive, though. And Gaiomon does have Reboot. And Davis will fix the opponent to 3 memory here. So we know we have a stack here we can push out, go into level 5, get a lot of swings in. But in order to get a bounce on this stack, we need to have the Melga X with the X anti option, or a Melga into Melga X. I don't know how realistic that might be here. So we have Promo Werga, we have Ice Wall, And we're going to basically threaten our opponent, not give him a chance to do much here with 1 memory. If you swing, it will pass turn. So do we have a Rookie and Raising to start our setup for this turn? Don't, but we are going to go into a Door Brickmon. Dropping down a bunch of sources here for 1 memory going, or not 1, for 3 memory. And then we're going to use the end of turn Jogressing effect. Go into a Ragnalornmon. Ragnalornmon's effect will trash security for every, I believe, 4 sources. Trashing 3 sources in security. And then the Blitz for game. Yeah, just breaking down. What did we see here? It's like, I was safe. I gave you 1 memory. What can you do? And say, well, I go Door Brick, end of turn Jogger's Flame. That is the punch I'm talking about. Like, that is aggressive. And that is how you build a Ragna deck, right? A Ragna deck without any Ragna pieces besides the level 7. But that is innovative, and I absolutely love how unique that was there. But we are getting set for game 2 of Garuru versus, well, I would consider like Ragna Rush almost. Ragna Rush, Red aggro. Red's an aggressive color, so like, it feels weird to find the color with its play style. But you can tell that was a deck built with 1 game plan in mind, and it achieved that game plan really well. Yeah, this is what I love seeing in Digimon. I love seeing unique decks thrive and do well. Like, that's how I felt my Ofani list was when I first started piloting it. Just a unique deck you don't see a lot. Yeah, starting out game 2 in the set, though. And I don't think we're seeing any moles from the players here, so I think we're good to... Well, I think we're debating it, but not taking it. We see Guri, we see Gil X, we see a draw. And that is a Gil X, right? I have the deck list. I can tell you if it is or not. It could be a Gil X from the artwork. I think it is. And we see a hero for 4, so we will be fixed for next turn. We got Gabu and Raising for the Garuru player here. Now we see a Gabu for 3 memory here. Tutoring top 3 for a Garuru and or Omni. I'm getting no holes. Talk about rough targets for tutoring with anything that Garuru's tried here in this set. And then going to 3 thanks to the hero. So we'll probably see another turn of hiding and raising if I had to guess. But we're just going to build sources because we want to be able to Ragnarjoggers here. And we're going to use Heir of Dragons to draw too, just for extra cycling to make sure we have the cards in hand, so when we try to door brick, we have the pieces we want. So next turn we could see a Gaiomon come out, which I think is the main boss monster of how this deck is built. Violet. So we get the draw for Evo for Gabu X here, and then we get the tutoring effect of Digivolving / on play. We will pick up the only Garuru target here. We don't have the Garuru X, so I think there is a debate if we want the Evo, but it looks like we opt for it. We will see this Gabu attempt the first swing, finding a rookie, not large enough to go over it, but just enough to get one chip done. So we can try setting the path up for the Werga and raising here. We will play a blue Membus, looking at top 4, trying to find pieces we are missing here. And we do have a level 6 we can pick up here. So we know we're able to get a pretty aggressive stack out of raising this next turn. But we're going to see Sean push up his Burning Greymon. Go into the Altarius promo for 3 memory here. Going into Gaiomon for 5, we'll draw. I want to see a Blitz into security for 2 checks, making him pretty large. Get a draw for Guri. Draw for the EX3 level 4, Florizi, I believe it was. And then there will be another memory on the Melga side. And then we have Reboot, so start of opponent's turn, we will restand. But knowing we have the X-Ante option in their hand, they have the Melga X, they can get rid of the scary stack that is presented in front of them. And there's not any protection on the stack either. Actually, there is the level 5 promo. And the level 5 promo should be from bouncing as well. So I think there is 1 layer. Because we do have 2 level 4s. Yeah, he's not a blocker. And we can see him go into the level 5 Werga X. Get 2 checks in an attempt to try taking the game here, which I think is the game plan. But I could also see him just going into the level 6 Melga. But being aware that Sagittarius promo is probably the big thing that could be overlooked. We will go into the Werga X. When Digivolving, you get to restand. He is naturally 8k, the egg makes him 9k. Going for 2 checks into security, thanks to 8 or more cards in hand. First check, we find a Ragna, and there is no protection on this stack. So the entire stack is going to disappear here. And if Sean has the same combo as last turn, there's a chance he just wins the game on the spot from a door brick into Ragna play. So even an ice walling opponent to 1 memory wasn't enough last time. If he just has the pieces, he has them all. But now I think we're just trying our best to find pieces we can use to extend play and not crash here. And finally get that Garuru X we were missing sadly in that last stack. I don't think there's a way to make the stack a blocker because you have to... Well, actually, you could. You don't have to restand to be a blocker. You have to restand to bounce is what you need. So, like, trying to think, like, what's the best way to protect yourself in this scenario? I don't think there's a lot you can do. But definitely trying our best here. I see there is a judge request being made. So not quite sure what's going on, but for those who don't know, what happened that first game, we had a Gaiomon stack built with a good number of sources. You had the Burning Grade to give an extra source. You have level 5, you have an X for the level 5. You swing, you're getting like 2 checks with Gaiomon, right? And then his opponent choked him at 1 memory using Ice Wall. But then he was able to cross into Door Brick, putting, I think it was 4 or 5 sources underneath, using the end of turn effect to Jagras. And then go into Ragna and Blitz for game. But cool way, we'll grab the Werga X here. I think it's just coming down to where if you have combo, you have combo. I can't really respond to it. It's hard to answer. And we're going to become a blocker with Melga here. So responding to the blocker, like the best thing you can do here, attempt to swing with Guile, or you could pop. I think there's a way to pop it with Door Brick, if I recall correctly. I want to see Fireball. Just draw 2, make sure we get pieces in hand. Fireball, draw 2 more, get more pieces in hand, as this is a very resource heavy game plan. We will swing with Gaio, making him 2k larger thanks to Hero, drawing thanks to Guri, and drawing thanks to the level 4. This is for 2 checks here. And I think you're in this really rough stalemate where you kind of just have to block to try keeping yourself alive. But also, any security bombs like Hammer Sparks or X-Antes could ruin the game plan here. So if we see a Dorbrick come down here with enough unique sources and a Ragnar Lordmon, it could just be game on the spot. And we see a Shoutmon here, played for 3, and then just reboot for start of turn. We don't have the X-Ante or a level 6, so there is actually no bouncing here. Yep, I'm just making sure we corrected that right away. Yeah, so my guess is after drawing 5, 6, 7, 8, I think it was 8, maybe 9 cards in the deck, we didn't find the pieces we needed for lethal on that turn. But it's still a very fast-paced game here where we're saying you gotta have an answer now, bud. Like, there's not a lot of time. We will go into Guru X here. So if we have 8 cards in hand, we could go for 2 checks with this Melga Sack, go into a Blitz Omni with an X-Ante option, and then Omni X to take game. But it's going to be demanding. So we're seeing the option. Seeing Melga swing security. We are going to see the Omni X here. I'm wondering how bricky the deck could be. So it looks like, thanks to all the draw options, it helps a bit. But I'm not sure, like, I haven't seen it before, so it's pretty unique. But thanks to that Sagittarius promo, we're going to prevent our stack from being removed. Then we're going to be trashing the X-Ante for the effect of Omnimon X here. Or not trash, but bot decked. So we get to reveal security, remove any potential bombs here. And there's no real bomb here, so we're just simply removing the probably highest DP guy to make sure our next few checks are going to be more safe for our lower DP stacks. And it's just secured, knowing that your stack and raising can swing without any punishment, or as much. Yep, and then we still get the attacking damage. It is now his turn, Sean's turn, with 4 memory here. 3 security left, a Gaiamon that does 2 checks, a rookie in raising, a rookie on field. So this could potentially just spell game. But we will see what he can do here with his massive library of a hand. So we get a draw for Guri, we get a draw for a level 4. we're opting to possibly use hero here. It doesn't look like we will. Just 2 checks. And we're just probably going to rookie rush 4 game here. Last check is Amelga. And then the Shoutmon will take game 2. And that is game 4 to Sean, taking the set 2-0 real quickly against Melga. Melga didn't even have a chance to do anything in response to game 1. Icewall won memory. It seemed like, hey, I have the game in the bag. But then he's able to trash 3 security and blitz for the final check of the game. Let's go ahead and hop in and see what we have at another table. Let's change our screen capture. How do we feel about some Machine versus Gallantmon? And I did the wrong flip the first time. Let me fix it. But we're seeing Gallantmon do Gallantmon things here. We cleared the board, we gained a lot of memory. And there's a lot of cards in trash. Machine wants cards there, so it's going to be a bit rough if we do have large amounts, because we can blitz with a Gallantmon Crimson and kind of steal away game with that. Let's see. How are the other tables doing? Looks like we got most of our tables still trying to get through sets. So yeah, that table 2 is super quick. But we will have 4 rounds unless there's a tie on table 1 being the only exception for that. Yeah, thanks to all the trashing of security, we were safe from any potential security bombs in that set there. And I will be right back, y'all. Okay, thanks for chilling with me, guys. Had to grab a quick bite to eat. I might start this an hour later next time so we have lunch before we start. Yeah, we're rolling along pretty well here. Had some pretty quick sets at some of the tables here, but we still have a few tables running. Yeah, so let's just go back to my little rant about top 16, right? Let me change it so it's in this view. Yeah, like, we were on, I think we just finished the Gallantmon list. So we look at Commandramon, though. We look at this list, there's Commandramon's Commandramon. Like, you don't have a lot of moving pieces you won't normally include in your list. It's like, you got the Commandramons. There's no surprise on that. If anything, cutting down to 3 of this Commandramon to make room for 2 Chikuris, I can see it. Because you want to have a way to prevent Blue Flare from shutting you down if you go wide. But then we have our Grumbles, we have our new Seals Dramon, we have our new Tank Dramon. Then we have a mix of the level 6s here. With Ultimate Flare being your 1 security bomb. And if you count Izzy as a bomb, you have him too. It's like, it's Z-Ray, it's cool. But I just don't think this deck is fast enough to respond to a lot of the format most of the time. But I could be wrong. We can see where it goes to. And then we have another Werga list here. Nothing special to really talk about. You got the Sagittarius promo. You got the Omni splits. And let's take a look. 12th place here. We have a security control list. And this one's emphasizing the green package. What's unique about the green package is when you use it, you're able to respond to Melga, because Grandel Sol suspends a Digimon, and then you bot deck a suspended Digimon. So if they try restanding at the start of the attack using their when attacking effects, you're able to still get rid of it. Same with Chaos Degrade, it's another direct answer to Melga. Not to mention a Venusmon can lock out Melga pretty well. It's like, I think that's what the deck was built in mind. You have the purple Schwarzlahars in case you go against like a, what do you call it? Bloom Hydra, because it is a way to delete wide boards. Because they have a lot of tamers in the deck. They have what? They have 3, 6, 10, 12 tamers in the deck. So they can remove a Bloom Hydra's board if they went wide. But if they go tall, you can't deal with multiple tall stacks that well. And I think that's where the main struggle of this build probably is. The purple cards, you don't see her a whole lot anymore. She phases in and out, though, based on the meta. Then Armor Rush. This was a surprise for me. I thought Armor Rush was going to kind of die, but it's still proven to be workable. The Giga Deaths being emphasized now over some of the Mega Deaths, because you can bot deck an entire Bloom Hydra's board. But yeah, like, it's your Armor Rush list for the most part. Pretty average. Then we have another Mass Day player here. Using Ordinemon again, because we discussed, like, Ordinemon being able to wipe a Bloom Hydra board and target it, super powerful. Then we have a mix of other call target options. Let's see, after Mass Day, we're almost through the entire top 16. We have another Armor Rush. Difference with this build is you're using Shakos for recover and bounces rather than only Chimeras. I think both make sense. You know, actually a thought though. A Chimeramon's able to answer a wide Bloom Hydra board. Because you got white, you got blue, and you're going to either have yellow or green. You minus 3k DP their entire board basically, or a wide portion of it. I can see that actually working really well in hindsight. I'm talking about Bloom Hydra as like the main threat. It's a crazy new deck, and I expected it to be repped a bit more, but you also have Magna X in the deck too, and Magna X is able to answer Werga in a unique way if it doesn't get bounced. But the thing is, it's going to get bounced more than likely, so your armor purging won't be relevant against Melga, which is why you still see it topping the tables. Like, that's why we see so much of it. Like, the only hard counter is playing Setcon style decks. And this one used the Gigis and Gil combo, so you can use Crimson Blaze and Gaia Forces. And we got 14 Tamers here in this build, so we have Schwarzlahars, right? No Schwarz. I guess you're relying on Crimson for that matchup against Hydra. And then you have your typical level 5 splits. The Seraphi making a comeback because 11k DP 2 checks is typically enough in this format. With Magna's Inheritable and his mainline, you're able to get a lot of damage in, and you typically live. Not to mention you get the Evo and Recover, which is also nice. I don't think there's really anything else to discuss for this list, though. It's Sekon. It's a red-yellow package with a little bit of purple. But they're emphasizing 4 Mimi and 4 Kari, because you don't have a natural source for those colors. So you have to draw into them along with your yellow tamers to establish those color requirements more frequently. Yeah, you try and avoid dead options in hand. Makes sense, though. Yeah, like, that's our top 16, though. Like, analysis-wise, do I think it's going to stay like this? No. I think we're going to see the meta shift still. We're early in the format. And if you don't realize, almost all these decks are old format decks, with the exception of Gallant with a new package, D-Brigade. Everything else is just an old deck that is still topping tables, though. And with that, I will be back as we will be getting our next round stuff started up soon.
Last match just recorded in. That's fair. Trying to figure out how to end current round and get the next one queued up right now.
you playing in the Ultimate Cup yesterday. What did you do? Oh, so you had to go afterwards. So you just stuck for 3 rounds to get the minimum prize and then left? Alright. Okay. I played all day, actually made it all the way to the end, and I came 23rd. Thank you. And today I am. On Tuesday I was like second to last. It's just sometimes you get not bad opponents, but bad matchups. Like, I'm not favored against Metal Gurumon. It is a difficult matchup, and my win rate against them is something like 30%. Yeah. But other than that, it's a very strong deck against everything else in the format. Yeah, so the Sean, he went to get us some food, I guess. There he is. Hello, Sean.
Hello.
Yep. Yeah, that's okay.
How you doing?
Okay, here we are. We are in the finals for today's tournament. We have what I'm going to call Red Joggers Rush versus Black War. Both decks have had cards around for quite a while. I got a fat cat on my lap. There we go. 2 decks that have been around for a while, but they kept getting support for pieces. As we saw the shot, he utilizes the Ragnar Lordmon for the top end of his deck. And then Black War is the emphasis for Mr. Frate's deck as well. So let me go ahead and put a poll for you guys in chat. Which deck do you think will end up on top today? There we go. Got you guys a poll. Which of the 2 decks do you think will end up winning today's tournament? But we see the cut from both players. We see the setup. We are ready to start our finals for the webcam circuit today. I'm going to hatch open with a Gurumon here. Then we're going to start out with Air Dragons, draw 2 cards. Now, seeing a slower matchup will actually give more time for a potential OTK setup. But we're also opening up an awkward hand with our fixers here. But we do get into a Gamma on this turn. And it's almost regardless what you do here, but there's not going to be a great memory efficient play unless you play your own fixer down here. Yep, and we're putting down our own fixer for 4 memory. So we're both playing awkward hands right now, but we have fixers on both sides, so we at least have the same memory advantage to work with. And we're seeing a rookie on the second turn, at least for both players. And then we'll go Red Memboos. Let's try to find a way to play this game. And we do get the 4th card from Boost. So like we're either taking the Greymon X or we're taking a searching card here. So we will take Gray X and bot deck the rest here. And I think we might end up seeing what I call a wet noodle stack. It's just where you don't build a great stack, but you're building up to build up. And we're grabbing all the X levels, but we're not getting the main levels here. Be like, it's very obvious in like a Melga stack. If you're playing against a Wet Doodle Melga stack, they can't do much. They don't get extra checks. They barely get any synergy. But it looks like we're starting to unbrick our hand slowly, one card at a time, getting some more cycling. And we have the BT1 Metal Gray here for 3 memory. So we already go into a level 6 next turn. Yeah, we're just forced to go from Agu X to Gray X here. Depending on the level 5, it could be awkward again, but we have the BT8 Metal Gray at least. Just no blocker on the stack, no great inheritables, but we have Metal Gray X at least for next turn. We are going to go into the promo Altarius. Promo Altarius again, just making our stack taller and taller, cycling till we find the cards we want. And we've had 0 memory invested into this little bit of cycling so far. And then we see a Fireball for 2, nothing to pop, so we're just going to draw 2 cards on the spot. Then for 1 into the Metal Greymon Alterous mode, because it can evo over a level 5 for 1 memory regardless of name and anything else. Then a Fireball for 2 more, drawing 2 more cards, and he will be fixed to 3 thanks to the Fixer tie. But we have what I call a pretty tall stack. It reminds me of Ancient Grey OTK almost, with how you build it up. Because, you know, you just build that giant stack and raising where it's going to be hard to interact with. Yeah, and he's just getting a check saying, hey, what's your stack do again? I know it's tall, but there's a lot there. It looks like you guys are leaning really heavily towards Sean's list at the bottom. It's definitely unique, so it's hard to be prepared for it. It looks like we're missing a level 6 here, so we're going to try our best to find it. And I think we're just kind of preparing for the worst for what could potentially happen. And we are blitzing into security with 1 check from Melgray, 1 check from Gaio, 1 check from Ty, and his initial check, so it's 4 checks. The first check is Air Dragons, or we're just going to draw 2. Doesn't seem scary up front, but then when you see the full combo come out, it is a little bit more scary. And the 4th check, so nothing scary for those other checks, and then we have Reboot. No blocker on the field, though. We're going to show to the best of our ability. We are promoting our giant stack here. So trying to think, we know Gaio's a 5-cost Evo, so there's not a way to keep turn with a Gaio unless there's a way to gain memory like a Gravity Crush. Oh, I have this backwards. Well, I can fix that. There you go. Should look a little better. You got security on the left and you got the deck on the right. But definitely presented with an awkward situation for this game for what we see. But we're going to see a door brick come down here. And we're going to see him shove a few sources underneath. We have our 5 unique pieces underneath. Yep, I'm just checking. What does Doorbrick do exactly? Is what his opponent's asking. It's like, I know this card exists, but I haven't seen it. Or at least in a hot moment. Like, you know the card came out in the set. And you want to make sure you're reading the errata one. But basically, it's a Digicross with 5 Digimon. And it costs 2 less for each one. So it essentially costs 3. And then the on-play is to delete a Digimon whose Digimon is 3k or less. For each card with dragon traits and its sources, you add 2k to the effect. And then with the Gil X, you can add an extra 1k. And this deck does have Rush as well. Yeah, so I think our big thing is just don't check anything that would delete this or prematurely end my turn from memory gain effects, which red doesn't typically have. It looks like we are attempting to swing at security. Suspending Hero to make him a bit larger, and we will proc a few draw effects here. I'm trying to draw into the pieces we really need. So I think we are missing a key piece. It's just a Melgray. Thanks to the hero, we do live the check. In addition to, I think there's an Agu in the... Or not Agu, but the Metal Gray level 5. That would let you live. I think the part we're really missing is a way to Jagras into a Ragna here easily. And we're going to play another door brick here. Or we're just setting up multiple large stacks with no real easy way to get around it. Now you're saying, if you have a way to deal with these 3 large stacks, congrats. But it's going to be a bit difficult from a quick glance. I think we're just correcting a state, looks like here. Something I missed. Oh, the DP from Metal Gray. I don't think they recognize that. Ow. Oh, fat cat. It was nice having you, but you spooked me. Yeah, I think we're trying to fix this game state, realizing we had a pop that couldn't happen there. I wasn't even thinking about a Metal Gray stack. There. Yeah, as we resolve call here, let's see what you guys are leaning towards here. So it looks like you guys are leaning towards the red aggro deck still, which I think is really cool. I love the uniqueness of it. But what else are we think? It's like our door breaks red, so you won't be able to use any Jogressing effects naturally from that. But I think it's going to be a pretty easy repair from what the board state looks like. But yeah, since this was in the finals, we are going to try to maintain board game and state integrity. I'm just figuring out here. But as we're getting that figured out, like, EX3 definitely gave room for innovation. Like, we gotta see some unique things come out that I wasn't expecting. Like, you can't say you expect to see a Lord on Jogress deck come out of the set. Because, like, it's a starter deck. It doesn't seem to have, like, natural support for it. But then when you take a look at how these other cards can piece together, it just shows, like, you have a unique way of adding up the deck. It's like, you look at Ophani when she comes out. You're like, Ophani's cool, I guess. But with the Mastamon starter, you get a little bit of innovation for it with the Gatomon. I think technically they came out at the same time. Yeah, they came out at the same time. But you have that added, and then you look another step further, and you have more floodgates being added for purple that are relevant for formats. And the Anji X was really the thing that pushed the deck over to being, I would consider playable, and I consider it tier 1. People call it rogue. That's fair. It's an opinion thing to have tiers. But like to actually have it in a place spot on the tier list and be able to perform in the top placement tables of premier events. But it looks like we have our issue resolved, so let's hop back to the game. Yeah, we are heading to our next game here. But we are setting up for our game 2 here. And this is our finals match for today of Red Joggers Aggro versus Black War. Two people that I've seen frequently do well at not just online events, but here when they come to our locals, they always perform with unique decks and consistency as well. So seeing them at the top is no surprise. But we have the Sean opening up with a rookie and a fireball to draw 2. Just trying to find ways to fill hand and get all the pieces, as he's a very resource intensive combo style deck at least. We're going to hatch and we're showing a Koromon. It's going to be going into the BT5 Agu, which normally you play the search, but just being a backup rookie is never bad either. And we get a Cool Boy being able to grab our Metal Gray X, which is honestly a very crucial card for this, not matchup, but just like the playstyle of how Black War can chip away damage and maintain more DP. And then we get our Searcher Agu for 3, looking top 4. And just getting our ordering for cards at the bottom of the deck here. This is where we want to start turboing up our stack as fast as possible. But we're missing pieces. We're just going to keep drawing until we find what we want here. I don't think it's something you really have to be that scared of if you're going for such a strong combo-oriented play where you're ideally going to be deleting everything on the board and getting all the checks you need. But there are some deletion effect protections in the Greymon X line that will naturally make it a little slower to go into. And we see a Gamma coming down here. We will see Agu X here. Suspending Cool Boy, gaining a memory, then we get some extra tutoring as well. Now we're looking at those top three. Not going to be able to grab anything since there's no Greymon or X anti option. But that's fine because we got the draw and memory from the Cool Boy, which ideally helps fix some of our memory threshold issue problems. And we'll just go straight into the Gray X. Or Greymon Gray X. But now we have a pretty scary stack out in the play area as we're able to remove that Gamma. But with that massive hand, I'll be surprised if we're finding ourselves still bricked with no level 4. So my thoughts are we're probably missing pieces still. Oh, we're actually going to see a door brick come down here. And thanks to all the pieces we have here, we are able to cross into this for a reduced cost. Going to 3 on the opponent's side. And then we're going to attempt to do a pop here. But thanks to that Gray X, there will be protection and we can remove just the 2 rookies and be safe. And we're going to use our Mellow Gray X and the Cool Boy to gain a memory, draw a card, get an extra cycle in here. And he's not a blocker, so we are able to swing security for 2 checks at 11k at least. I don't believe there's any other buffs at the second. But we do have that Black War Gray. Thanks to the BT8 Mellow Gray, we're able to swing into the stack and restand. Thanks to the all turns effect, and we're going for 2 checks here, which we are good to live through. Now we're just going to put down our next Cool Boy here, and 2 of the top 3 cards of our deck, picking up that Gray X as it's our only valid target here. But it looks like we finally got a level 4 here. And then we're able to start building up our stack pretty quickly here. But being down to 3 security already, it's going to spell a rough time here, I think, for Sean. Unless there's anything egregious checked in security. And we get 2 more Cool Boy procs here, drawing 2 more cards. And then we get an Agu X tutor on top of that. And only again, 1 more valid target being the Black War. And we will go into the Gaiomon for 2 memory here. And he will have a natural +1 check. So he will be swinging for 2 checks here with the stack. Check 1 being Burning Gray. Check 2 being a Cyclonemon. Those level 4s that we were missing in the previous turn. But if we swing with an Agu and have a Blitz Omni, we could just take game here. But we're going to do a little bit more drawing because my guess is we don't have that piece in hand yet. And I If we saw any, we just saw one get bot decked. I don't recall it being bot decked though. Now we're just going to choke our opponent at 1 memory after getting our top 3 search. And there is an Omnimon there. Not an X antibody, so we cannot grab it. And then start of opponent's turn, we have Reboot. We have Gray X protection. We're a blocker still. We are able to go into our Altruist mode here for 1 memory. But I don't know if we will have enough to be able to push for a game here. And we will be going on to our... I'm calling that one there a game there, and I believe we're going on to a game 3. Oh, that is actually the set, it looks like. With Michael taking the game there. Yeah, and they were just showing off. This was the combo I was aiming for. To be able to cross with that using an end of turn effect to Jagras. We'll see if we can find something else here.